guys, I'm glad that you found my channel. This is going to be the first real video that I'm not bringing in from my other channel. And if you're curious, my other channel is Masses32210. This is Masses Outdoors, and this channel is going to mostly focus on the Off-Grid Education Center, or probably going to be better yet known as the Survivor Center. And what it is going to be a culmination of a cabin, a lot of other ideas that I want to incorporate into a campsite that will be more of a training education center for the basics in survival and just learning to live off grid and different things that I've learned, and I want to combine it into one channel by itself without like all the other stuff that I do on my other channels. And if you're kind of wondering what I'm doing is I came out to this property I just purchased back in February. We're in basically this is August 1st, so I've had the property for a little while. And what I'm doing right now is, I'm sorry, I'm getting off the subject. I'm trying to actually find my property marker. I'm here at the very end of my property, and the road that you've seen us coming in on, I own part of the private road that leads in. Through many years of research and stuff, it took me about 15 years to actually find a decent priced property, and I love this property. Let me flip this camera around the other way, and I'll kind of show you as we're walking in to where we're going to be setting up camp here in the near future. Well, alright guys, what I was trying to find is, you won't be able to see it right now, maybe not. There's a pink ribbon right there, and that marks the very end of my property. And this is bordering on a 30-acre tract right next door to me. And as you can kind of tell, we got to cross the creek, which we just had 2 days of light to medium rain. This creek originally on the map showed that it was on my property. Come to find out, it was actually on the neighbor's, which is good and it's not. Since we're down here, I was just gonna just kind of show this off, and I've kind of have an idea with this on even trying to reuse water like this to possibly water in a little garden. And we're going to get into that project as the video series takes on. So I do have an idea how to pump this using off-grid water. And this creek does actually flow in heavy rains. It'll puddle up here and it takes off through the woods that way. And what it is, it's part of a whole creek system. It's really dry for the most part until we get rains, and you can kind of see there's a ditch line back there, and it just flows through here on this side of the tracks. And from what I understand, it actually goes from the other side and somehow comes under the tracks. But I figure this is kind of way to make our way in. I kind of got to refine this property marker. Whenever I come in, I try to always come in from the side, but I always just try to come in and cut straight through. But my property shoots straight back from here, so either we're going to enter in right here and I'll take you into where I'm going to set up, or what we'll do is come in from the side. Well, the muddy conditions coming in here, and I didn't wear the appropriate footwear. Just happened to be I was running errands for work. I realized I have more than enough time to come out, and I love this place so much. It's like a sanctuary, just somewhere to just get away. That's one reason why I love this. I've been working on that side of the property. It goes back a pretty good bit. That's eventually going to become a homestead. I'm moving out of the city, getting all the way out in the country. So I've been clearing that. This has become a job, especially with the heat we have here in North Florida. But my thing is going to be this area on this side of the property where I can get seclusion and peace from everything. And this goes back a pretty good ways back in there. You know what, we'll just come in here. Well, what I'm doing also is we got to find a way to cut a path in here to bring supplies and materials deep into this property. Whoa. And we're not going to run into this, whatever the hell I just ran into. But we're going to go around. I apologize. That's one thing I've been trying to figure out in the last little while. There's another spider web. Is cutting a path into here, because I want this thing as far back as I can get it. I want to be secluded. I want to just remain deep, as secluded as possible, because this could also be used out as a bug out location. Because sometimes you just don't want to be found. We still got a little ways to go. So what I'm going to do is just find a general area, and I kind of think I just found a general path. I'm just going to cut in a very small path, remove as little as this I have to get in here. And you notice as we get in here, I'm looking more and more at possible spots to set up the cabin, and what the extremes. One of the most important things in setting up the cabin is that I do want to run it off solar. So I would like to be in here as far as possible, and I believe I possibly found the right spot. You notice all around you, seclusion. We're pretty good ways in right now. Just utter peace and quiet back here. I see definitely there's spots where I can get solar power in. I believe it's amp for it. I can't. You know what, guys? I'm not going to try to pronounce it. There's a certain cheap solar panel that Harbor Freight sells, which will produce power in lower light, and I believe I have found it. I think this is going to be the cabin site right here. I've been waiting to get in here and just kind of walk around, get a little peace, listen to Mother Nature, and I think this is it. We're shaded, so it'll keep it cool in the hot days. Yet we have a nice, beautiful view of nothing but trees ahead of us. Minimal things I got to remove. Couple little trees. It's going to be a 16 by 20 cabin, so we're not going to disturb everything in here by putting in a small cabin in here. And my property marker should be somewhere in this general area, and the reason I know that is if we walk a little bit further, which this could be actually our advantage. Oh, let me grab a stick. Sorry for tilting the camera. We have spider webs ahead of us. Nothing wrong with the creatures, we just don't want to get bit by them. This right here should actually be the neighbor's property. And actually, this actually might end up being mine. I have yet to find the property marker back here. Whoa. I don't know if y'all seen that, but there's a little frog went a little hippity hop all the way down. This is probably the first time that I've been back here, this far back into the property, and it's just so beautiful. From what I've seen before, as far as I knew, the creek only flowed so far, but what it must go uphill a little, then come back downhill, and once you get back in here so far, that it just always stays full. Now see, like I said, this is the first time I've been back here to check this out, so we're kind of doing it together. With something like this, with a good water source, there should be no reason not to be able to set up some kind of little off-grid cabin. We could also possibly have, depending on the light conditions and the right vegetables and stuff, I don't see why we couldn't actually set up a little garden back here. Definitely going to need bug spray. That looks like it might be one of the best things, because I just had a huge mosquito on me. But I cannot complain. I love this area back here. We're in the woods. We're right here with Mother Nature, and I'm thinking this is it. This is going to be the cabin spot. Probably going to go in right back here. Put the cabin in right here. We have all this ahead of us. I definitely can't see why we couldn't do this. This is like beautiful back here. So this creek possibly is on my property. We're going to actually find the markers before we start building. But what we're going to do, I guess, is go ahead and set up. We're going to go ahead and find the property marker. So I'm going to stay 15 foot back this way, wherever the property marker is at, and we're going to come back from the very back line 15 foot. So it gets me away from the building restriction line. Not pulling permits because I really don't want anybody to know about this place. If it's not needed, there's no point. At least nothing else. I see firewood already back here. When I bought the property, I noticed this big giant tree that was leaning over. It's a nice oak. Should be nice and dry. We have another little grouping of 3 that are right there that are also dead. So all that and anything else that's laying down that's worth it, we'll just go ahead and chop that into firewood. Anything we're going to have to remove. Basic outlines for this: we're going to put a cabin in here. I know we're going to have a shower inside. It's going to be solar power. I do want to have a generator shed for them days that we're not going to get enough solar back here. So what a better way to be with Mother Nature than peace and quiet. So besides my ramblings, if y'all have kept up with me this long, what do y'all honestly think? Little cabin will do it. Solar. Keep it solar powered for the most part. Thinking 500-600 watts of some decent panels. I think I'm sitting there looking at this and I just love it. There's nothing like being out with nature. Just getting secluded. There's nothing better I can say. I'm actually lost for words. I'm just looking at this whole area and I see the spot for the cabin. So like I was saying, the cabin's going to go in pretty much over there in that general area. We got the creek with water at least that's over there, so we could possibly do something with that if we needed some kind of water source for whatever. So cutting in through here, this would seem like the most logical path, just straight right there. But that actually might be it. I might have to just cut in more of a straight path. Straight ahead, guys, is the clearing. We'll come in off the road. We'll come in with ATVs with trailers and have to swing it in coming in this way. So most I might have to cut down is we'll probably have to cut down these little stragglers right here. Possibly this one. I'm gonna have to, or no, I'm probably gonna have to definitely be selective. I'm probably gonna get rid of this one, and we either can cut down these couple of stragglers, open it up a little area, and go around, and that's probably going to be the path. Definitely I'm not trying to give out the location of this place, because I think it's time to have something that's enjoyable. The clearing is right there, so it shouldn't be that far back to get into where I want to do this. So the first is the first. The cabin itself it's called the portable cabin, and the reason it has that name is there's several ways to actually there's really 1 to 2 ways to build it, and there's actually several ways to actually install it. And what I'm saying by that is it could be literally a portable installation, or it's going to be a permanent installation. Now for mine, what I've decided is I'm going to build it so that way I can show both techniques, but mine will end up probably being a permanent installation. Got to cross this little creek ditch line to get back out. Let me get onto the other side and I'll be right back with y'all. Well, we're back out onto the road. Just walking back into the front of the road and looking down and realizing that it'll be nice. We were way back in there, all the way in the back, so camouflage is not going to be hard. That's definitely it. My original intentions when I bought this property was to clear it from one side all the way down to the other, open this up, do something with it, because I love having a large parcel of land versus all the years I've lived in the city. You have nothing but the little tiny square of a yard, and it just sucks. But being out with Mother Nature is just peace and quiet. Like I said, I'm sorry for all the rambling. I have so many ideas. I'm just trying to get them out there, and I know I'm not going to do it one video. So the basics of this project: we're going to build us a cabin, 16 by 20. We're going to have a fully functioning toilet with a shower, small kitchen. We're going to have power. We're going to do it with solar, and we're going to have a generator shed. The ultimate goal is to be able to set it up like a little miniature cabin. We want peace and quiet. We want to be able to also survive. With the light conditions in there, I'm pretty well sure I could get some kind of vegetables, some kind of fruits to grow in there. We're going to set it up. There's so many other ideas I'm not putting into this video, so I just want y'all to kind of just stay with me. I know it's not making sense to y'all. That's the kind of the problem I have when I make some videos. For my other channel, it's pretty well easy. My other channel is stuff that I build. Most people see it from the get-go. They kind of understand what I'm doing and they go with it. This one is kind of harder because I'm not really making sense right now, but it will. Like I said, just stay tuned to the rest of the videos. This is kind of the introduction to the project, and I really just needed to find where I'm going to put this thing. So the next step is we're going to be moving on to the build videos. We're going to be building a portable cabin, which is built in sections and trucked in. And that's why it was so important to find where I want to set the cabin and how we're going to truck it in. And it was a lucky find to find the creek full of water that's back there, so we're going to use that to our advantage. Guys, like I said, please stay tuned. This is Massis Outdoors, and there's nothing like the country life and the great outdoors. Thank you so much for tuning in. Rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in.